Hello, everyone. This is Biz Chicks TV. This is the place to find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today we're here with Happy Healthy Habits with Robin Shimizu and friends. And we are so happy to have Robin in the house today. So I just want to say that on Thursdays, this is when we do health and wellness. You know, if you don't have your health, you can't keep your wealth. You can't continue to produce and make more wealth. So, this is a really important segment. And we're going to be talking about something that is going to really blow your mind today. So, I highly recommend that you take a few notes and get ready for Robin Shimizu. Robin, how you doing this morning?
Hey there, Terry. I'm doing just fine, thank you. I Thank you to Francine in the background. We always like to acknowledge Francine Gregory, our tech diva. Well, she's an entrepreneur in so many ways.
Hmm.
Um, so we've been doing this. I don't know, Terry, but going on 3 years pretty soon, I think.
Since 2014. Is that 5 years? What is that? Oh my gosh.
So it's been a while.
It's been a minute. Oh my goodness.
And you know how things just sort of just nicely happen. And I
Hmm.
met you and Francine, and you guys invited me to put these segments on. And we started out years ago talking about brain health because I was really into brain health at that time.
Hmm.
I'm worried about the health of my brain and trying to figure out ways to keep my brain healthy. And there's just so much interesting information out there. And I picked up a new book recently called by Jim Quick. That's Kwik, I think how you spell
Hmm.
his name. And he's a brain doctor. And I'm listening to it because the audiobook is really cool because he reads his book, but yet he does commentary in it as well during the read. But at the end of every chapter, he's being interviewed by a friend of his, and they have a conversation about the
Oh,
chapter. So the
nice
audiobook is kind of cool because you get this extra, um,
conversation.
yeah. And he's talking about how we best learn in less than 20 minute increments. So, like if you're going to read a book,
Hmm.
you want to read a book in 20-minute increments because your brain really wants to rest.
Oh.
So, if you keep on doing what you're doing and you don't give yourself time to kind of regroup and your brain to rest a little bit,
Hmm.
and it also likes to think about what you just did. It
Oh.
learns. But if you jam it up, it doesn't like that. So I'm only on chapter 3, and I'm just loving this book because in addition to the book, that he has this resource thing that you can go online and
Hmm.
you can get the resources on all the tips and all the tools that he has that go in the hard copy of the book online. So you can actually listen to it and then download the workbook stuff and keep on. And so you only do it for 20 minutes a day, or you do it in 20-minute increments. So it doesn't take a whole lot of time. And I'm enjoying that part of it too.
Hmm.
Yesterday, when I was listening to it, he said something really crazy that there are actually okay. So our brain is really a super 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 organ because it can heal itself, right?
Yes.
It's one of the most magical things about our body, and it's really the control center of our body. And there are actually brain neuron cells in our heart. So when we're eating good food, and we're thinking we're giving nutrition to our brain and stuff, you're actually feeding your heart too, because your heart has neurons in it
My goodness.
to each other.
What? My heart talks to my brain?
Yes. And now I'm going to listen to this chapter again because I was so blown away. But I thought, gee, that makes a lot of sense because he says you think about heartache, you think about things that have happened to you where your heart, you know, your heart responded to whatever situation you're in, that's real, that your heart is actually responding.
I,
Anyway,
I
it,
know that a lot of times when we are reading the Bible, it talks about hidden in your heart, and it's really referring to your mind. When it's translated, it really means in your mind.
mhm,
So I could see the connection between your organ and your brain
mhm.
is referenced there. So I guess I can see how that would make sense. That and for one to react to the other, they'd have to communicate, right?
And also, the other really important part of all of this dynamics is your gut, because your
Mm.
gut also has the ability I mean, your gut, it's, you get hormones, and you get all these other kinds of nutrients, you eat, and your gut is, but anyway, your gut, your heart, and your brain are all connected.
So that whole digestive system is one big um, processing center.
Yeah, so I thought, from for this whole summer, I think I want to come in every week with a healthy brain tip of some sort. Like this week, it could be just about talking about drinking water, because
Hmm.
so important for your brain, because your brain is like 70% water.
Correct.
And so we could, just by drinking water, you're taking care of your everything, but you're also really, really keeping your brain healthy.
Ah, I
And
love it.
yeah, so just to remind people, don't forget to drink your water for your brain.
Okay,
It's
well,
just,
I've got my water here.
there we go.
I've got my water here. And I know that we have several tips about how to take care of your brain that we talked about from the Mayo Clinic, right?
Right, right, right.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, and they're very, very simple tips.
Yes.
So this is what Don Dexter, MD from the Mayo Clinic, says. Number one, just regularly exercise.
Okay, so let me read a little bit. He says the first thing he tells his patients is to keep exercising. Exercise has many known benefits. It appears that regular physical exercise benefits the brain. Multiple research studies show that people who are physically active are less likely to experience decline in their mental function and have a lower risk of developing Alzheimer's disease. So there's
Like
a good reason right there to exercise.
my mom's 98, right? Just
Hmm.
turned 98, and she walked her dog, and she was 85 years old, and she was still walking that dog. And she would get on the floor every morning and exercise, just move her legs and just do stuff. She's like, 90 now she's in her 90s, and she's still pretty active. And I really think it was the activity that she, and simple lifestyle. She had a simple
Yes.
lifestyle, but man, just keep everything more simple, and you're going to do better.
There you go. He says, we believe these benefits are the result of increased blood flow to your brain
Hmm.
during exercise.
Hmm.
It also tends to counter some of the natural reduction in brain connections that occur during aging, in
Hmm.
effect, reversing some of the problems. Another reason to join the gym, okay? If you can't do it at home, if you don't have the discipline to do it at home, join a gym. And, a lot of our, what do you call it, health plans
Hmm.
cover the gym for seniors.
Hmm.
It's free. They have a silver sneaker program. So I know Kaiser definitely does.
Hmm.
And I'm going to get back into the gym soon.
Soon.
Uh, and then the second thing he says is get plenty of sleep.
Hmm.
Okay. So sleep plays an important role in our brain health. He says there are some theories that sleep helps clear abnormal proteins in your brain. I'm like, what?
Yeah, they say that in deep sleep, we get these like sticky toxins, stuff that goes on in your brain. It's just like debris. It's like
Uh,
it's stuff that needs to get cleaned out, and it's
gunk.
gunk, gunk in the brain.
That's a technical term, guys.
And that it doesn't clean out unless you get really good rest. And REM sleep is the best, where you're dreaming and there's all this activity going on in your brain. You think your
Mm-hmm.
brain's not resting, but that's the best part of the brain rest, is deep sleep, because your brain's actually cleaning itself out. So getting good sleep is so, so, so important. And they say not less than 8 hours. They say don't get seven. Seven's not good enough. You have to get 8 hours. And this was another, I can't remember.
What?
Yes.
So my little 6 hours could be the reason why I have brain fog. No.
Well, they did say, it's, well, this one particular doctor, and I can't remember his name, and I don't have
Mm-hmm.
the book right here, but he was saying that it had to be at least 8 hours of sleep. Now, I
Okay.
don't do that. I don't have the,
Well, let me read this paragraph because he goes on to say this about that sleep. He says it's important that you try to get 7 to 8 consecutive hours of sleep per night, not fragmented sleep of 2 or 3 hour segments. You know how some nights you wake up at 3 in the morning. Okay. Consecutive sleep gives your brain the time to consolidate and store your memories effectively.
hmm,
Sleep apnea is harmful to your brain's health and may be a reason why you may struggle to get consecutive hours of sleep. Talk to your healthcare provider if you of your family members suspect you have sleep apnea, like you're waking up in the middle of the night.
hmm, yeah.
So yeah, it's like you said, because when that REM sleep happens, that's when the cells are being regenerated.
Hmm, yeah.
And so if you skip that a couple of nights, can you imagine what your cells are feeling like? We can't handle this. We we didn't get to do our routine, and now we got, like you said, this gunk up in here because we didn't get to regenerate those cells. Number 3 is eat a Mediterranean diet. I don't know what that is.
Well, I'm not sure either, but I'm thinking it's got a lot of olive oil. It's got a lot of
Okay.
fish, olive oil, fresh vegetables,
Okay.
fruits. Just yeah.
Yeah, and I'm looking at this article, and it says which emphasizes plant-based foods, like you were saying, the olive oil, whole grains, fish, healthy fats. That's that olive oil, right?
Hmm.
Uh, and what's it say? Oh, such as olive oil. It incorporates much less red meat, salt, and a typical American diet. Oh, I didn't even see bread on here. I see whole grains, but I didn't see. I love bread. Oh my gosh.
Just eat it. My theory is you go ahead and eat that bread. You like it. You love it. You just don't eat a lot of it,
Okay, all things in moderation.
right?
Okay, I have to tell my brain that. Look, you're not getting gunk today. Okay, so it says here studies show people who closely follow a Mediterranean diet are less likely to have, are you ready for this? Because this is something we're trying to avoid, Alzheimer's disease
Hmm.
than people who don't follow the diet. Further research is needed to determine which parts of the diet have the biggest impact on your brain function. However, we know that omega fatty acids found in extra virgin olive oil and other healthy fats are vital for your cells to function correctly. I
We,
didn't know that.
we need that fat. We need fat in our diet. Good fat.
Good fat. That's what
Good.
it means by healthy fat.
Yeah.
Okay. It says appears to decrease your risk of coronary disease and increase mental focus and slow cognitive decline in older adults. I'm sure, it's not just older adults. Some children have challenges. I wonder if this diet could open up their neural pathways if they're having challenges.
And a lot of we're not feeding our kids healthy enough. We're letting them eat what they want to eat, and they want to eat macaroni and cheese and just stuff that they want to eat. And I think our kids are lacking the nutrition that we had growing up, because
Because stuff wasn't as processed.
Exactly. And we ate what was put on our plates.
And also what came out of the garden. A lot of it came out of my grandmother's garden. We grew it. So we knew it hadn't been sprayed and processed and you know what I mean? It had
I
just
love
been
your grandmother. I just love her. So what else what did she grow?
oh, she grew we grew tomatoes, green beans, collard greens, just about everything that went on the plate, corn.
Did you guys go out and help gather the food?
Absolutely. I told you my grandmother didn't feed anything that didn't eat, that didn't work. Cat, dog, bird, nothing. She didn't feed nothing that didn't work. Everybody had everything and everyone had a job. Every insect, everything. You know what I'm saying? She said, "Don't bother that ladybug. She's doing a job." Okay. You know, don't bother that butterfly. They're working. You know? So we
Right.
had an understanding that everything sort of worked together
Mm.
because all things work together for the good. So yeah, and I'll tell you a little story. I used to wake up earlier than everybody else because we take all our friends out to my grandma's because she moved to the country when I was in elementary school. So she moved out of the city into the country because my great grandmother had cancer. And so she wanted to be able to care for her in the home and for her to have plenty of fresh air because we lived in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So we hadn't cleaned up the air yet. So she moved to the country. So basically, summer camp was me taking all the kids on the block out to grandma's,
Nice.
okay, to give all the parents on the block a rest. So in the mornings, I would always be awake when everybody would be asleep, and I would go pick my stuff before the sun came up. And then everybody else gets up and they had to pick their stuff in the heat. She would say to them, you know, if you get up early, you wouldn't be out in this heat doing this. You'd already be finished. So the early bird gets the rest. Okay.
It's really true. And you haven't stopped that habit yet.
No, I haven't. And I always wondered how she got so much done because she took in laundry. She had a big mango in the house and she took in laundry and she'd be finished with the laundry before any of the kids would be up, and she'd be up cooking breakfast at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning, whatever they were as they were rising. Um, and I never knew how she did it. Now I know she was up way before I was, way before I was, and I guess it was light work to her because she and her sisters are the descendants of slaves. My great grandmother was born into slavery, and with 18 kids, that's how she was emancipated. She had 18 children. So as a result, what happened was they were responsible for splitting railroad ties, growing and picking cotton. So she had a very active life. I guess that's one way to put it. So the things that I guess she was doing at that point were probably light work for her. You
That's
know what I mean?
I gotta turn something up. That's
No problem. Light work for her. So one of the things that they recommend in here is that we stay mentally active. Well, she never really retired. I can't, I can't remember her quote unquote retiring. My grandfather quote unquote retired from the railroad, but then he went on to do domestic work with my grandmother. So, just they didn't retire. They just transitioned into something else.
yeah, yeah. Just stay active.
Staying active.
Right. Isn't that the next one?
The next one is stay mentally active.
Yeah.
Says your brain is similar to a muscle. You need to use it or lose it. There are many things you can do to keep your brain in shape, such as doing crossword puzzles, Sudoku, reading, playing cards, or putting together a jigsaw puzzle. I love jigsaw
I
puzzles.
do too.
And I'm teaching my grandson how to play cards because in about 4 years he'll probably be going to college, and I don't want him to be taken to the cleaners by a bunch of kids in the dorm. because I don't want him to learn at college. You know what I'm saying?
That's smart.
So, and then this summer we plan to teach him double pinochle and some other things. But right now he's just learning the value of the cards. We're playing like 500 and, Jim Rummy and that kind of stuff. So it says, however, we do know that, wrong paragraph, hold on. To incorporate, consider it cross training your brain. So incorporate different activities, because I do the same activities, the same puzzles and stuff, to increase the effectiveness. So maybe I should try something new. And there are plenty of apps on our phones to help us, do this. It says here, he doesn't recommend any of the paid brain training programs available today. These programs often make promises that they can't keep or focus on memorization skills that aren't useful in everyday life. Your brain can get just as good of a workout through reading, which is what you were talking about, or challenging yourself with puzzles. Finally, don't watch too much television. I watch a lot of TV, as that is a passive activity and does little to stimulate your brain. I know we used to, when Francine and I used to walk, we would listen to Jim Quick.
Oh, okay.
Because he has a YouTube channel.
Okay.
And it's really, really good. So, and he would talk about some tricks to, keep your brain active. And then number 5 is remain socially involved.
There we go.
Now, okay, let me read what they say. Social interaction helps ward off depression and stress. Now, we know depression and stress is not good for your brain, and it's not good for your heart or your body, right? Because that can set up a lot of inactivity, which results in a lack of exercise, which he said leads to brain dysfunction, et cetera, et cetera. So make sure that you find or connect with something that's social around something you love. Like if you love to quilt, go join a quilting group or go take a quilting lesson, or you know what I'm saying? Go to the library and research quilting. Get out of the house or get into something or some group, be it online or outside of the house, to be social. So you get to know those people and they're looking forward to seeing you, because that results in accountability. It says social interaction helps ward off depression and stress, both of which can contribute to memory loss. Ooh. So I've got a lot of work to do, because I didn't realize that I was actually having some low-grade depression during the year that we were off.
Oh, yeah.
Because just pedaling, and every 5 minutes there was a change. And, okay, you can do this now, you can't do it. You can go here, no, you can't go there. You put it on, take it off. Da, da, da. You know what I'm saying? Just keeping up with all of that. And even though I didn't focus on it, just hearing the numbers every morning. Then, people were losing people. Stuff was happening. And you really had to guard your mind and your heart, because they're talking to each other. Know what you told me this morning? To keep from going into depression and stress, both of which can contribute to memory loss. Look for opportunities to connect with loved ones, friends, and others, especially if you live alone. There is research that links solitary confinement to brain atrophy.
Oh, atrophy. Yeah. Atrophy.
Thank you. Atrophy. So remaining socially active may have the opposite effect, and strengthening the health of especially if you live alone. There is research that links solitary confinement to that apathy. So, social interaction will strengthen that brain connection. Wow.
I think even Zooming, just even what we're doing,
To see
regularly.
people's faces, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we got Cecilia in here, and Cecilia is just a super fan. We just love her,
Yes.
and we look forward to hearing from her. You know,
Yeah.
and
Exactly.
and I hope she looks forward to hearing from us because she's family.
Yes.
You know, she and Jerry and Pat, and you know, it's just a blessing to see them.
It is. It is. Absolutely. So the book is called, the book that I'm reading now. I don't even said, I don't think I said the title. It's just called
Mm-mm.
Limitless. And I'm just going to introduce Maureen. Maureen Stevenson was going to be with us today, but she couldn't make it. So we'll
Mm-hmm.
have her back in a few weeks. Um, but what I wanted to tell people about this book, I haven't finished it, but it's called Limitless. Upgrade your brain, learn anything faster, and unlock your exceptional life. And one of the things he says he can teach us is how to have better memory. There are tricks to having better memory. So he's going to teach me how to have better memory. He's going to teach me how to read faster and comprehend more. So I'm like, oh my goodness, this is so excellent. So I'm really looking forward. So maybe I'll be able to tell you guys a tip every week that I learned from the book.
Okay, and I am going to put the link in the chat for quick.
Limitless, Jim Quick. It's Kwik. I
Mm-hmm.
put
Mm-hmm.
it correctly.
I didn't want to that what do you call it? That link was so long. Is this the online masterclass? No,
No,
you're doing the book.
I'm just reading the book. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I'm
I
listening
want.
to the book.
Okay, so what I really want to do is put it's called quickbrain.com, I believe is his website. Let me go there first to make sure. Yeah. So I'll put it in the chat. It Go ahead while I do that.
Okay. So I wanted to just talk about, so we're getting down to the end of the half hour, and I want
Hmm.
to let people know who's going to be on next week. Um, it'll be June 10th already. Can you believe it?
Oh, wow.
So Brenna's going to be with us next week, so that'll be fun. We'll get to hear from Brenna and how to keep our toxins out of our house. So Brenna will be with us next week. I'm pretty much filled up for the month of June and July. So thank you everybody who's agreed to be on the show. So I'm kind of getting my summer all lined up now with all the different guests.
Great. Jim Quick also has a podcast, so I'll put that in the chat. So that you guys want to listen to him. Um,
I think it's smart to listen to the podcast while you're walking, Terry. That's a great idea.
and Cecilia says, "Oh, you guys," Cecilia, it's true. We listen because we not only are you not because not only are you encouraging, but you have great information for my mind, body, and soul. Fantastic. We want to be of value to you, Cecilia. And so we're glad to know that we are on track to add value to your life. Yeah, we love Jim Quick, Robin. I just, he's good. And his stuff is succinct and it's doable. So I recommend that anybody who wants to improve their brain health, that they, you know, tune in, listen to him. He's also got a YouTube channel. So there are many ways to connect with this information. But you're going to also be sharing with us from what you're learning in the class. I
Yes.
look forward to it. I look forward to that. So, guys, we want to thank you. We know that next week we'll be talking to, you said, to Brenna,
Hmm.
who is our queen of green, how to keep our lives sanitized without chemicals. So, with that, we look forward to that. Tomorrow we'll be talking happy, healthy habits. Not healthy, healthy habits. We're talking tech with the tech divas.
The Tech Divas.
The tech divas. So we look forward to that. And we know that Maureen is going to be available in a couple of weeks, so we'll have her back. In the meantime, we want her to stay in the studio there, Maureen. We want to talk to you after the show. But in addition to that, we want you guys to know that we love you. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And remember, go to the front of your own line. Have a great day. Have a good one, Robin. Thank you again for having such great information on brain health. Bye bye.